Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Today I'm sharing my heart about how to incorporate mindfulness while homemaking. There are so many things that we do while homemaking that are just absolute routine. We could consider them habits. And I think it's easy to get caught up in a checklist of tasks that need to be performed day in and day out and feel like there just isn't time for those quiet moments of relaxation or reflection that we truly desire. What I've been noticing the more that I live this minimalist lifestyle is that by practicing a few mindfulness techniques and being acutely aware of my five senses, I'm able to be productive and enjoy day-to-day life more fully. Slow down and pay attention. Why do we always feel like we have to be in a rush in order to get the most out of our days? August to me means one more month of waking up with the sunrise and truly enjoying that golden hour. There is something special about being able to lay in a comfortable bed for just an extra few moments, praying, taking deep breaths, and just being thoughtful about the day ahead. I've mentioned this before in my videos, but bed making is my most favorite household chore of all. So much so that I make all the beds in the house, or at least tidy up and fine-tune things so that they are nice and smooth. And while I do this, I pray for each of my family members. This is one way to pair a bit of mindfulness with a seemingly uninspiring or routine chore. Another way that I've really started to enjoy slowing down and paying attention is by putting up a bird feeder, which we did as a family at the beginning of spring. We've had a pretty wide variety of different types of birds come to visit since then, and it's been fun to listen to their sweet sounds and watch their movements. Peeking out the living room window in the morning is one of the first things that I do daily. This morning, I caught our acrobatic black squirrel in the act of trying to steal the birdseed directly from the feeder. We honestly don't mind if the squirrels and the cute little chipmunks eat the bits that fall below. That's what most of them do, but not this guy. We've had to resort to various contraptions to keep him away. After much trial and error, I think we are finally close to a solution. And with fall right around the corner, of course, the acorns will be falling from the oak trees, which will probably be a more appealing snack for him. Immerse in nature. I haven't given a garden update at all yet this summer, so here it is. We've had quite the rainy season as well as some very hot temperatures as of late. I'm really thankful for the fresh mulch we put down in the spring, otherwise I'm pretty sure I would be dealing with a soupy, muddy mess. Despite all the rain and sunshine, I kind of feel like overall the garden has slower growth this year compared to last, and I'm not totally sure why that is exactly. Gardening has been so therapeutic for me. It really does awaken all five of my senses. I am constantly in awe and wonder of how a seemingly small and unimpressive seed can become a large plant that produces sustenance for not only insects and animals, but my family as well. What a blessing it is to be able to tend to and care for something so wonderful. When those days come where I don't feel like watering or pulling up weeds, and believe me, they do come, I remember that a sweet harvest is on its way, and the anticipation keeps me motivated. I always joke that Midwest gardening is different than most other places in that we spend a large portion of the summer months doing a lot of work and observing, and only reap a harvest in late summer or even early fall. But those delicious, juicy tomatoes and sweet, crispy carrots are worth it every time. My younger sister has witnessed how much joy my garden brings me and thoughtfully took it upon herself to make me this useful gardener's apron. In it, I can easily collect all the goodness and bring it back indoors. This mindfulness tip is so important that I recommend you carve out a few minutes at the beginning or end of each day to just sit and enjoy nature and the beauty all around. But if that is not possible, Think about what homemaking tasks you could do outside. Can you pay your bills on the porch, shake out the rug, rake the leaves for 5 to 10 minutes? Get creative. You might surprise yourself how much time you are actually able to spend outdoors. Prepare and anticipate. I personally think that planning and being prepared is an important aspect of mindfulness. It means that I'm not always just flying by the seat of my pants, which would ultimately cause me a lot more anxiety and stress. The month of August has me preparing my 5 kids for the new school year. End of summer days, beginning of school. Our 3 sons will be attending the same schools that they did last year, and I will continue to homeschool our daughters. We actually continue doing some light schooling throughout the entire summer and are ending off with a novel study of My Side of the Mountain. And so while preparing my boys for school means signing them up for classes and gathering the proper supplies, it is a bit more intense for homeschooling. I've been printing off our unit studies and creating book lists, researching math curriculum, and so much more. It can feel like a lot, but I don't think I've mentioned yet how absolutely thankful that I am for this opportunity to walk alongside my daughters in this way. Parents want what's best for their children, always. And when we recognized that our daughters needed more one-on-one attention and guidance to meet their full potential, I was happy to set some of my other priorities aside for this moment in time. And so while I'm preparing our unit studies for the coming months, I'm just filled with gratefulness and wanting to be as planned as I can possibly be so that when the time comes to actually teach, I will be less stressed out and able to enjoy the simple moments. Seeing their faces light up when they learn something new or witnessing their accomplishments after working through struggles, these are the blessings I don't want to miss. Focus on the moment. For this mindfulness technique, we are going to the kitchen. If you've watched my videos for a while, you know that I recently started learning the art of sourdough, and I found that this is one area of homemaking where I can really be fully immersed in a moment. I think it's because there are a lot of little steps involved, each of them only taking a few minutes of time. From witnessing the healthy, bubbly starter and realizing that it will be great for gut health, to mixing the simple ingredients together and smelling the yeasty goodness. Something I wasn't aware of, but am now, is that sourdough bread doesn't have to be kneaded. Instead, it's stretched and folded 3 times, each about a half an hour apart. Feeling the dough on my fingers is a sensation that I don't take for granted. While I'm doing each of these steps, I try to focus on just that one thing and enjoy it. I've actually come to find that the little stops that I make throughout the day to tend to the bread making process are calm, slowed down moments. It isn't a rushed chore that has to be done, it's something that I'm choosing to do. And I'd encourage each of you to find a homemaking task like this for yourself. In the end, when I'm putting the prepared and fermented dough into a basket, knowing that once cooked it will nourish my family, that's a great feeling. Satisfaction so easily walks hand in hand with productivity when a homemaking task involves an end product. I'm going to throw this footage in here too, because another thing that I wasn't aware of before learning about sourdough is that the discarded starter can create other delicious things, like these cheddar waffles that I'm using for sandwiches. Most of the recipes I've tried so far have come from the website Farmhouse on Boone. Lisa, she really knows her sourdough. Prioritize for a greater sense of accomplishment. When a person tries to take on too much, the efforts get diluted, or even worse, they can fall into a pattern of keeping busy without being productive at all. It can help to set priorities the night before when you aren't faced with actually doing the tasks at that moment. For example, if I write a to-do list with 20 items on it and don't do any prioritizing, I'm going to try to do all of the easy or enjoyable things first. I've even been known to add a couple things to the list just so that I can cross them off. And I bet that I'm not the only one guilty of that. At the end of the day, I will look back and note that I was quite busy, but if I never got to those more difficult things, was I really being productive at all? I find it to be much more achievable to set a max of about 3 unique tasks for the day, not including those that are in a standard routine. And this gives me plenty of time to focus on those that need to be accomplished without stressing out about them. One of this week's priorities was to finish up the raking and laying grass seed in a couple of areas in our yard. This went to the top of the list this week in particular because the temperatures were at a more comfortable level and we weren't expecting any major rain. A job like this can be pretty physically demanding, and it's kind of tempting to just grunt through it and work really hard to just get it done and over with. But that can create burnout too. Now I try to be more organic with my approach and give myself a realistic time frame. You'll see that my outfit changes in these clips, and that's because this work was done over the course of a couple of days. I did what I could the first day, and when I was tired, I put the tools away so that I could recharge my energy and my mindset. The accomplishment is still felt even when not finishing in one day because progress on a prioritized task was made. With a clear mind, things went smoothly the next day and I was able to get the job done. My motto for this channel and my overall life actually is simple home, simple living. Some people might confuse simple with easy, but that's not always the case. To me, it means a focused effort, putting my time and energy toward good, sustaining work, keeping my focus on tasks that will be of benefit to me and my family, and ultimately not making things more difficult than they need to be. The minimalist lifestyle has really helped me to achieve this version of simple, and I'm reminded every day how beautiful it is. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.